The origins of martial arts in the United States. In 1954, American audiences watched in shock as a small Japanese man flipped a larger opponent effortlessly, without striking a single blow. It wasn't magic. It was martial arts. And America was about to change forever. A post-war transformation. After World War II, America was no longer isolated. US soldiers returned home from Japan, Okinawa, Korea, and the Pacific, bringing something new, not weapons, but knowledge. They had trained in foreign combat systems, disciplines unknown to most Americans before 1945. By the early 1950s, martial arts began quietly spreading across the United States. At first, these arts were rare, hidden in military bases, immigrant communities, and small private clubs. But within a decade, they would explode into American culture. 1. Judo, the first to take root. The first martial art to gain real traction in America was Judo. Introduced earlier in the early 20th century by Japanese immigrants, Judo became widely known after W.Twi's. In 1952, the Amateur Athletic Union, AAU, officially recognized Judo competition in the US. By 1953, the first national championships were held. Judo was different. It didn't rely on punches or kicks. It used balance, leverage, and throws. American soldiers who trained in Japan brought it home. Police departments began adopting it for self-defense training. By the mid-1950s, Judo was the most organized and widespread martial art in America. 2. Karate, the rising force. Next came karate. Unlike Judo, karate was striking-based. Punches, kicks, blocks. It entered America primarily through US servicemen stationed in Okinawa after the war. One key figure was Robert Trias. In 1946, Trias opened one of the first karate schools in the United States in Phoenix, Arizona. By 1956, he organized one of the first national karate tournaments. Karate quickly attracted attention. It was direct, powerful, visual. By the late 1950s, karate schools were appearing across major cities. 3. Aikido, the art of harmony. While karate emphasized striking, Aikido offered something entirely different. Developed by Morihei Ueshiba in Japan, Aikido focused on redirecting an opponent's energy. In the 1950s, Aikido began spreading slowly in the US, primarily through Japanese instructors and returning servicemen. It appealed to a different audience. Less aggression, more philosophy. Though smaller in numbers than Judo or Karate, Aikido built a dedicated following. 4. Boxing, America's native combat sport. While foreign martial arts were arriving, America already had its own. Boxing was one of the most popular sports in the 1950s. Fighters like Rocky Marciano dominated headlines. Marciano retired undefeated in 1956, 49 wins, 0 losses. Boxing gyms were everywhere. Urban neighborhoods, military bases, community centers. Though not martial arts in the traditional Asian sense, boxing was, and remains, a core combat discipline in America. 5. Wrestling, ancient yet American. Wrestling was deeply rooted in American culture. From collegiate wrestling programs to Olympic competition, it was already established. In the 1950s, freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling were widely practiced. Military training also emphasized grappling techniques. Wrestling influenced many later hybrid fighting systems in America. 6. Jiu-Jitsu, the predecessor. Before Judo became dominant, Jiu-Jitsu had already been introduced to the US in earlier decades. In the 1950s, it still existed in pockets, especially among Japanese-American communities. Jiu-Jitsu was more traditional and less standardized than Judo. It included strikes, joint locks, throws, and weapon defenses. Though overshadowed by Judo, it played a key role in shaping American martial arts foundations. 7. Taekwondo, early Korean influence. During and after the Korean War, 1950-1953, American soldiers encountered Korean martial arts. What would later become Taekwondo was still developing at the time. Early forms, influenced by karate and native Korean systems, were taught to some US servicemen. By the late 1950s, the first Korean instructors began arriving in the United States. Taekwondo's explosive kicks would soon make it famous, but its roots in America began in this decade. 8. Savate, European striking art. Less known but still present was savate, a French kickboxing system. Savate had been introduced to America earlier, but remained niche. In the 1950s, it was practiced by small groups, particularly those interested in European combat systems. It emphasized precision kicking and footwork. Though never widespread, it contributed to the diversity of martial arts in America. 9. Fencing, martial art of the elite. Often overlooked, fencing is one of the oldest martial arts practiced in America. By the 1950s, fencing clubs existed in universities and athletic institutions. It was even an Olympic sport. Unlike other martial arts, fencing emphasized weapon-based combat. Speed, timing, and precision defined it. 10. Military combat training systems. During WW and the Korean War, the US military developed its own close combat systems. These systems combined elements of boxing, wrestling, and foreign martial arts. Training manuals from the 1940s and 1950s included hand-to-hand combat techniques for soldiers. While not formal martial arts schools, these systems influenced future American combat styles. 11. Early mixed combat experiments. By the late 1950s, something interesting began happening. Practitioners started cross-training. Judo fighters trained in boxing. Karate students studied wrestling. Though not yet called mixed martial arts, the idea had begun. America became a melting pot, not just of cultures, but of fighting systems. In the 1950s, martial arts in America were still small, scattered, and unfamiliar. But within a few decades, they would become global phenomena. The irony, what began as foreign traditions, would soon redefine American identity itself.